In 1990, an initiative known as the Human Genome Project began under the direction of James Watson and was completed in 2003. Knowing what makes humans human, the next step is learning what makes us different. Researchers discovered roughly 3 billion base pairs, or 25,000 genes, in the human genome. The project took researchers worldwide approximately 9 months and $300 million to complete. With the completion, a new horizon of possibilities has opened, looking to nanotechnology as an avenue to the forefront of genomics, ranging from DNA sequencing to profiling and expression. Currently, sequencing is very time-consuming and costly, but once the human genome can be sequenced effectively and at a low enough cost, a number of possibilities would be available. We're at an exciting time in genomics. We're on the brink of discovering the underlying factors leading to heart disease, diabetes, common cancers, and virtually any disease that tends to run in the family. Cancer used to be defined by locale, but now is being identified via molecular profile. The use of genetic information holds the power to predict disease susceptibility and allow for the proactive care of humans worldwide.
Let me introduce you now to the Beery twins, diagnosed with cerebral palsy at the age of 2. Their mom is a very brave woman who didn't believe it. The symptoms weren't matching up, and through some heroic efforts and a lot of internet searching, she was able to convince the medical community that in fact they had something else. What they had was DOPA-responsive dystonia, and so they were given L-DOPA, and their symptoms did improve, but they weren't totally asymptomatic. Significant problems remained. Turns out the gentleman in this picture is a guy named Joe Beery, who was lucky enough to be the CIO of a company called Life Technologies. They're one of the 2 companies that makes these massive whole genome sequencing tools. And so what he did was he got his kids sequenced, and what they found was a series of mutations in a gene called SPR, which is responsible for producing serotonin, among other things. So on top of L-DOPA, they gave these kids a serotonin precursor drug, and they're effectively normal now. Guys, this would never have happened without whole genome sequencing. And at the time, this was a few years ago, it cost $100,000. Today, it's $10,000. Next year, it's $1,000. The year after, it's $100, give or take a year. That's how fast this is moving. There's already a lab today that tests for allele 334 of the AVPR1 gene, the so-called cheating gene. So anybody who's here today with your significant other, just turn over to them and swab their mouth, send it to the lab, and you'll know for sure. Do you really want to elect a president whose genome suggests cardiomyopathy? Now think of it, it's 2016, and the leading candidate releases not only her 4 years of back tax returns, but also her personal genome. And it looks really good, and then she challenges all of her competitors to do the same. Do you think that's not going to happen? Do you think it would have helped John McCain? These genomes, these 23 chromosomes, they don't in any way represent the quality of our relationships or the nature of our society, at least not yet. And like any new technology, it's really in humanity's hands to wield it for the betterment of mankind, or not. And so I urge you all to wake up and to tune in and to influence the genomic revolution that's happening all around you. Thank you.